Hello and a very good morning from the Fine Liquids community all around the globe. This is Pat Eckert from Fine Liquids Premium Waters, your water lifestyle company, and today we are joining some very special people. And I want to introduce to you on this side Mrs. Ruriko Suzuki, Japan's leading water sommelier, directly from the heart of Tokyo, joining us.
Hi.
Hey, good morning, or hello, and a good day to you.
Hello.
It's 2 p.m. in Tokyo right now, and above me here is Mr. Justin Glascock from Los Angeles, and it's 10 p.m. in Los Angeles right now, Saturday evening, prime time. Justin is a certified water sommelier in Los Angeles too, and he was trained and certified by the master himself, Mr. Martin Rees from the Fine Water Society. So we have two very special water sommeliers on the show. And our very special guest today is Mr. Phillip Muhr from the Muhr family, and he is the founder, one of the founders from the founder family from Hallstein Artesian Water, from a very unique, rare, and special spring in Austria. So I'm very happy to have you on the show, Phillip. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning from London.
Yeah, from London. Phillip is joining us, and it's 6 a.m. in London. So, hey, we do really everything for you and for our audience to bring you very special shows in the world of fine water. Ich möchte an der Stelle kurz Hallo nach Deutschland sagen, weil heute ist hier Election Day, Wahltag, und es geht darum, dass wir irgendwie eine ganz gute neue Bundesregierung bekommen. Und ich drücke euch allen die Daumen und ein gutes Händchen und möchte sagen, trefft eine gute Wahl, aber trefft sie auf jeden Fall. Geht wählen, go and vote. So, back to the show. The first time when I met Hallstein, I did not understand what Hallstein is, because I saw these stations. I don't know how they are called, but I thought it must be a filtering system for the gastronomy, and so I did not realize what it is really. And then Millen came back a few months ago and said, "Hey, Pat, you will receive some sample bottles from an Austria company." And I said, "Okay, this is bottled water. I thought it must be something different." I did not know. And then these bottles arrived me in a cube, in a very unique special cube. And this was really crazy for me, because I opened that bottle and I made a very unique experience with that water. And the story just started there with. And then there came this big topic. This big topic was, there is a family who was searching years by years to find a very special water. And this was the reason I came into the water business, because I was on the search for a very special, or for the best water you can have on this planet too. But I stopped that and made fine liquids. So I thought, okay, that's it. I have some of the best waters in my portfolio. And then I met Mr. Phillip Muhr, and I found out, no, there was a family doing that job until the end. And so I'm really happy to have Phillip here to tell us a little bit about Hallstein Water and how the things developed until we came to today. That's it, yeah. So, Phillip, tell us a little bit. How did all these things develop with Hallstein Water?
Well, Hallstein was really about a table conversation. It started in 1999. My father has a think tank, and he invited the leading expert of body inflammation at the time, named Dr. Huber, who gave his presentations and ultimately found that inflammation is the root of many of the health causes that will come later in life. So you can treat it, but curing it might be a bit more difficult. But by treating it, it's done very simple by drinking a lot of water, reducing your sugar intake to zero, and reducing your alcohol intake to as low as possible, because we all like a good wine, we like a good sake, we like a good a good whiskey, and etc. But you have to drink a lot of water. But he did not say what type of water, and that's what asked the question. That's what started asking the questions. So at the dinner table, my father, gave his findings, and immediately said no juice, no soda in the house. So we were, of course, ecstatic. We were really happy not to have our favorite sodas or our favorite fruit juices. But we concluded saying that if we do this, we want to do it with the highest quality. We want to do it with the best. And that's what opened up Pandora's box, where we went to doctors and we asked them the questions: define for us the highest quality of water. Define for us, what does water supposed to do? What is supposed to be in the water? And that's what prompted everything. So we analyzed the market, couldn't find it on the market. So we went to go look for it. And who knows about geological structures, the oil and the gas industry. So we hired 4 universities and a large oil and gas industry and their geologists. And we gave them parameters, what we were looking for, after concluding that there's not one water on the market at that time. Name all the big brands. They were not considered high quality. So we gave them we gave the company and the universities the parameters, and all they were looking then for were geological structures. And without knowing that we're from Austria, they all concluded that there's one small valley in the middle of Austria where all of these parameters come together. So we went in there, secured drilling rights, and we found an aquifer. So we drilled down 220 meters to an aquifer, and we struck this stone fracture where the water came out like a geyser. And then it took us another 2 years to start testing it water, concluding if the temperature doesn't change, the quality doesn't change, if there's enough water in there, does the geological structure doesn't change, and a lot of other different types of questions. But after that, we concluded we found exactly what we were looking for. And we never wanted to be in the water industry because we only started doing it ourselves. And when we started sending it to our home in the US and in Austria, people started saying, oh, this tastes so good. I don't really drink a lot of water, but this tastes amazing. They want to buy it for themselves and their family. So we turned it into a company. And that's exactly what we do.
That's a real cool story. Philip, I found out that this whole journey was years. I think 16 years until now, I think.
Mhm.
And this is a real great story.
Mhm.
Another thing is, you said you couldn't find it. You couldn't find what you were looking for
Mhm.
in the industry. So there were no bottled water, no other water which had fit into your parameters you
Correct.
had. And this is something very interesting for me, because when I heard that, I thought, what?
Mhm.
What? All these waters? Then I looked, how many
Mhm.
waters did you research? And I found out it must be thousands.
Yeah,
And
we've
and then
yeah, we
just let me make
that's
that point. It's
that's up.
you said you couldn't find it in the market, and I always thought this must be a good water, and that must be a good water. And then I had a look back, and I think there are so many companies that are saying our water is the best water. It's
Mhm.
just a sentence, because they just say that, and then everything is silent.
Mhm.
And when I listen to Hallstein Water, the first thing I hear is our water is the best water.
Mhm.
But then comes everything else, and you can read hours by hours, and you can jump in this whole story, and you find out there is so many things which really is amazing about the water. When Millen talked to me, he said, Pat, you have to research that water. Look in that. We have to work with them. Look at that water. And you know, most of the time when we are talking about water is tasting good. The bottles are looking good. They are very fresh. They are new. They are rare. They are unique. But with Hallstein, it was something more and something different when we talked to you. So I'm very sad that Mr. Milan Patel does not join us today because he can't join in. It's not his day. So just a greeting from here. Milan, sorry that you are not here. I hope we will rock the show without you. So, Justin, you have some of the bottles too, and Ruriko, you have some of the bottles too. And so we all have bottles from all around the world, from Austria. How did you receive the bottles? In what kind of packaging were that when you received it?
Yeah, so I was actually extremely impressed with the packaging. It comes in this really nice blue box, but it's like a really good quality box that's a very stir, um, you know. And when you open this has this nice really black foam that's really protects the bottles inside. I think I think the way that's packaging is done is like it's really well thought out, and I thought that was really nice. So I got the so just like what the Pep is showing right now. So the one he got is a octagon shape. The one I got is the box one, but those were really nice too. I don't know what kind of shape that the Ruriko got. Ruriko さん、すいません。そのそのフィリップさんからその箱が届いたとき、どのような、ものだったか、そういった感想をちょっと述べてもらっていいですか。
はい。まずは最初にフィリップさんにわざわざ日本までこのハルシュタインを届けてくださったことをお礼申し上げたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
So first of all, she wants to thank the team of the Hallstein for sending out the water to Japan.
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
ありがとうございます。
Oh, it seems that Tokyo is broken for the moment. So we will wait when she will... Oh, she is back.
もう一度。
OK。つながりました。
もう一度。おそらく、日本でこのハルシュタインを飲むのは私が最初かもしれません。
So she believes that she's probably the very first Japanese in Japan able to consume this Hallstein water. So she is very honored.
That is correct. That is correct. Thank you.
Wow.
で、箱が届いて、ちょっと感想をよろしいですか？
Yes. So she's going to now talk about her impression of the boxing.
まず箱のデザインが素敵で、それでまずは気持ちがすごくテンションが上がりました。
So when she first got the box, so she noticed this really beautiful, packaging design, and that really brought her attention very high already.
そしてやはり海外からいただくお水でとても嬉しいのがしっかりとした梱包をしてくださったことです。
Yes, so she really liked that. So as I mentioned, very very, nice design that's well protected.
安全に私の元に届きました。
Yeah, and therefore it was safely delivered.
瓶の感想もします。
今箱だけで。
箱だけ、OK。はい。
Yeah, so she's definitely very stoked about this packaging and box, and same with me too. And I'm pretty sure same with Pat as well. And I can definitely speak for Mel. I'm pretty sure he was extremely stoked with the design too, as well.
All right, cool. I'm very happy that everybody has this bottle on the table for our sampling and tasting in the mid of the show. Philip, tell us a little bit about the kind of water. What kind of water is that? You told about Dachstein. You told about Geyser. This was something I heard in another interview. So it took 2-3 days to stop the water when it came out at the first time. So tell us about that water. What kind of water are we drinking today?
Okay, so today it's our Hallstein. So thank you, of course, everyone for coming to listening, not just to the story, but also introducing us to your Fine Liquids platform. We're very excited. Hallstein, very simply, is the water that has been perfected by nature. And what do I mean by that? It's the only water on the market that has never been pumped, never been treated, synthetically or chemically. So we have the ultimate water. We have the ultimate water that has been perfected by nature. And I can guarantee that all other waters on the market have been adjusted by pumping it, by filtering it, and by adding chemicals. So fundamentally, just we can start this way. Nature produces edible berries and nature produces poisonous berries. And all what the geological structure does is filter this water through the most purest form of limestone 10 years. And as long as it rains, as long as it snows, we will always have this water. So we're very excited really to introduce to you a product that has never been pumped. It's ecologically friendly, it's geologically friendly. And all we do is guarantee that this water, that the quality of the water arrives to you, Ruriko, to you, Justin, to you, Pat, and to you, Milan, all around the world, and to all of your clients around the world without compromising its quality. So thank you very much for saying a few words on the packaging, because we also believe it's a high quality product and it has to be protected. And at the same time, we guarantee that that the quality never compromises.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah, and I was actually very, very surprised when I first got that you guys never go through even a microfilter process. And I know a lot of company goes through that because it's for the safety reasons too.
Correct.
They want not to have any pathogens or any chemicals that's going to affect our human body. Since we're selling a product or they're selling a product. So just hearing that. Yeah, it is definitely amazing, and I can definitely tell that probably your source is extremely pure and safe, and probably that's why you guys are able to do such a unique process and able to sell this amazing water in a commercial level, right?
No, we're very lucky. I mean, we're still looking, by the way, we're still analyzing the market, and we're still looking for these other unique structures, and I can guarantee after 20 years, what we have is really truly the highest quality.
Yeah, I don't think I have found any kind of water like that. Probably Pat might know. Have you ever found anything like that before?
No, I really never find it. I looked there for, and I thought I saw most of the waters, and I thought there would be no more surprises to me. And this is something I'm really happy about because when there comes a sample box with waters where I am amazed and surprised and something more, I just felt in love with that water, and this is something that not really happens all the time. No, I did not find stuff like that before.
Yeah.
And many people, and that's really what we're, we're a very small company. Since we don't pump the water, we know what our maximum capacity is, and I can get into that a bit later about how our business is structured. But ultimately, what we have is really just a water that tastes absolutely incredible, and that it's the healthiest water for your body, and it's also a water that will never compromise a good food or a good wine or a good whiskey. So it's that missing link to the enjoyment about drinking water for health reasons. It's the missing link for that enjoyment of the food. So we're very lucky to be able to provide this on the market. But yes, but the geological structure is really the foundation. It's really the starting point of where the water company will look for either a source to be in a mass market, or for a municipality to provide a mass market product for their people. So we're on the opposite side of the spectrum. We can only handle globally 15,000 global subscriptions. And it's really something that we're very excited about, that we've only been on the market for 4 years. It took us a long time. It took us over 60 permits in over 16 years to offer this onto the market. So we're very happy and very excited to be able to present this today.
Oh no, and it's our honor to able to taste this water with you. It's amazing. Thank you.
Let's dive into the water itself. You said that you have 8 core parameters.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What is the special about mineralization and all around these core parameters? Because I think this is very interesting to the audience, because there is one special thing I heard in another interview. Your father said, hey, I really know everything about my wine. When I drink my wine, I know everything. But when I drink the next sip of water, I don't know anything. And I think this is a real special issue all around the globe. We're drinking water. It's water. It's just water. Why should I know anything about water? But your family made that core parameters, 8 points of core parameters, and I think this is a really interesting point in Hallstein.
So we were looking for parameters, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative, just very very important, of all the little details that go into the water, and qualitative, of course, when you look at the geological structures. So we narrowed this down into our 8 core parameters that I would recommend everyone go on our website and look at. And it's very simple because they all are interacting with each other. So the quality of water, it's not highlighting, it's not just this one thing, it's a combination of everything. And like I said previously, in nature, it's always a giving and taking. And when you alter the water, you're also changing compositions. So at the core, we have TDS, so total dissolved solids, which is a mineral count. We have exit temperature. We have TOC, so total organic carbons. We have the pH. We have, I think, calcium, the calcium magnesium ratio. So everything is now put together, and it's also the oxygen. I think that's the 8th one is the oxygen content in the water. So with this core 8 parameters, you can look at any other bottled water, you can look at any other municipality, and you can start asking the right questions of where does this lie? So
yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, especially when you talked about the balance of the calcium and the magnesium. So I heard that the really good balance of the ratio for the good tasting water is usually that 2:1 or sometimes 3:1 from what I hear. So definitely, yeah. So when I was looking at that 8 core, that especially like the one that Phillip was showing, you were explaining to me about, yeah, definitely, I have to agree, like a lot of those parts. Yeah.
Oh, it's important. It's important that people understand, and that a company or just say one of the bottled water companies, they might highlight. And one of the last ones was sodium, that sodium content as well, and I'll get into that in a second. But most of the water companies will highlight maybe 1 or 2 things in their water, and we would just want to make very clear there's much more to the story than there is. And specifically with sodium and its connection with pH, it's that you might have a water with a high pH, but I would highly recommend looking at the sodium content, because that's the first way to manipulate it almost. And that's the fancy word of this ionization. And if everyone knows that if you're drinking a lot of ionized, or if you're drinking a lot of sodium, that's drinking a lot of salt. So what happens then with salt? You know, you've hypertension, you know, you get dehydrated, and you're doing exactly what the water's not the supposed to do, or the water's supposed to do everything that is not. So water is all about doing three things for the body. It's about optimal hydration, making sure that even down to the cells and down into the gut that you're optimally hydrated. So as an example, you might drink a lot of water, but you still might feel sick and you still might not feel hydrated. And you always ask that question, like, why do I still feel bad? I just drank, 2 or 3 liters. The second part is about removing toxins. So water is the universal solvent, and water is supposed to pull out all and filter, your body, and pull out and extract all the bad things that you don't want. And lastly, it's about preventing you from intaking toxins. So because we have to drink 2 to 3 liters a day, I mean, that's an average, you really prevent yourself from intaking toxins such as pesticides, hormones, heavy metals, and all the things that we find in water. Asbestos is all microparticles of plastics, and that goes down to PFAS chemicals, the forever chemicals that are causing all these things. So if water doesn't do all of this, and this goes back down into our 8 core parameters of what defines high-end water, if they're not all working in unison with each other, it's not high-end water.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, without that, it's definitely going to kill the purpose. And I know safety is definitely one of the main important part if you're selling water commercially too.
Mhm.
So yeah, I know like one of the 8 cores, it also mentioned about the nitrate level.
Oh, correct.
And I think your water is probably around 1, which is definitely really low in virginity.
Mhm.
And yeah, definitely that's really important aspects.
Well, less than 1, and I think when Pat knows, and nitrates are also very prevalent in not just in pesticides, but in fertilizer. So you might have these regions around the world where there's a lot of agriculture industry, and agriculture uses fertilizers, and that gets into the groundwater, and that's making babies turn blue and making people get sick. So it's things that you don't want, and nitrates are also acidic. So when you're really looking, in the water, you really have to start looking at, what is this water doing to me, or what is actually found in water that people are not talking about. And that gets into the regulations, and that gets into, well, what is the definition of high-end water, and where's the mass market, and then what defines the base. And we've been now analyzing, we've over 4,000 waters in our data bank, and we're still trying to find another competitor in the space of quality, but we still can't find it. But if anyone on your platform can show us a water that has, let's just say, the 8 core parameters in their own unique levels, their definition bands, and that has not been pumped and that has not been treated, and which is commercially available, please send us and please let us know, because for the past 20 years we've been looking and we still cannot find it.
Yeah, we will do that. I think there are 1 or 2 bottles I really like to introduce to you, but you just said 4,000 brands or 4,000 tests you did. Wow, that's a number. 4,000 waters tested.
But probably there's sorts of testing and documenting and categorizing. So a lot of the waters we pulled, from the internet. We've people working for us still looking, and it's all about giving us the chemical analysis of water. So we believe this should be available to anyone, who asks. And you won't believe that even if you're asking these quality questions, people are very hesitant about providing you with the true information. They might send you like a water that was tested, and it was a microbiological test, but that's not really showing the complete picture. So we're always saying, why don't you show us the chemical test, not just the chemical test of the product, but why don't you just show us the chemical test of the source? And many people don't want to show that. Many people don't want to show what they have to do to the water to make it reach this level.
Yeah, it's very important. And that's actually one of the things that I ask the water companies to send me. And because that's actually down to earth, what's really there at the source. And it's really important for me as a sommelier, because that's what the, kind of composes the flavor, flavoring profile and all that. So definitely.
So for me as a connoisseur, I hope I spelled that word correct. I don't use it so much often. There is a missing link. I like the word missing link you just said. For me, the missing link is to have a sip of that, because you, Philip, you just took your sip of that, but I'm very thirsty, so I think we should dive into the tasting experience of Hallstein Water. Let's open the bottle. First of all, I really love everything from the top to the bottom. It feels much more heavy than other bottles, but it isn't much more heavy. But it feels like, I don't know why, really. Let's open it. Let's open it and have a sip of Hallstein water all around the globe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry already opened.
Open.
I drink a lot of water during the day, so I like to refill my bottles. Really making sure that we're very big on sustainability, so I like reducing my environmental impact.
And I love I love a lot of things about this bottle. So as Pat mentioned about the weight, I really like the weight. That gives a lot of the kind of a lot of, it feels like a really luxurious water. And I really love the label, the paper label. I noticed that you guys are using really nice quality paper label too.
Also,
and I really love
non-toxic ink and all recycled. So we're every thought process into the materials. It's really about never compromising the quality. So it's 100% recycled glass. Also, the foam that you were mentioning, it's also biodegradable foam, 100% recycled paper. So we do our part, making sure that we can offer a product in the most sustainable way, but also never compromising the quality itself.
Amazing. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, and the design-wise, I like this little hexagon H that shows right here.
Octagon.
Or
eight core parameters is our
octagon. Octagon. Yes. Yeah. Yes, octagon. And the same with the bottle cap. I think that's very unique too. Yeah. And just the weight. Yeah. And I love the color. Yeah. Let me ask Rurikoさん。Rurikoさん、ボトルの感想をちょっと、お願いしていいですか？
はい。もうこの重厚感が素晴らしいですね。ガラスの瓶で。
Yeah, so she loves the glass bottle, the nice, the heaviness. Yeah.
それからキャップの周りにフィルターがついていて、今パンデミックで騒がれているので安心感があってとても良かったです。
Oh, and she loves the way the bottle cap is filtered with the plastic. So even if people touch us, it's safe after the purchaser buys an opened bottle. It's well thought of.
あとはキャップのこの H のマークに凝っているという点と、それからやっぱりこのラベルがパッケージと同じ濃厚なブルーで高級感を感じました。
So she also loves the cap. The design is well made, and also she loves the navy. I don't know what kind of blue should I call this, like a navy.
It's a blue, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So she loves. So that kind of brings the, luxuriness. you know. So yeah, and I really love the color that you use. It's a nice blue and gold that you.
And very faintly, you might see the Dachstein in the label. You'll still see the mountain just very briefly in the faded into the label itself.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. It's kind of faded with a kind of mix of
Correct.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see that kind of slant mountain. Yeah, that's kind of unique.
Yeah.
You know
But
what
also,
they are doing is that they are all just falling in love with that. But I have to stop you falling in love because I really want to say cheers to everybody because we really have to talk about the taste of that great water. So cheers all around the globe.
their only
And,
water,
yes,
I'll say cheers to.
cheers.
Yeah.
And cheers.
Thank you.
You know, I have two reference waters for myself. And when I get a new water on the table, first I drink my reference waters and then just diving into the new one. And then when I did that, Hallstein really surprises me with the first sip, with the first coming in touch. And what I really love about that water is when I listen to you and your family members, you are taking us on a journey with you into a special way to look on water, and the same is doing the Hallstein water with me when I drink a bottle. And with every sip, with every glass, something happens with me I never had before, and I'm feeling very good. This is nothing. It's not. I don't want to talk about feeling healthy or stuff like that, but the water is talking to me in a kind of smoothness, in a kind of warmness, in a kind of friendliness to myself. I don't know how I can say it, but I want to drink the next glass. And I drink that next glass, and the next glass is doing the same to me. I want to drink the next glass. And so I have the feeling that this water is inviting me to get connected with it. And it sounds maybe a little bit spiritual, but it is as it is. And it tastes for me, and I'm not a water sommelier, such as fresh and crispy and smooth and clean and clear, and this is all coming to me at the first moment, and it still stays. So this is my experience, and this is what I want to share with you. So
I wanted to just quickly briefly say you're absolutely right. You know, one on the spiritual side, our water is really the true product that has been perfected by nature, and also with the symbolism of the octagon itself. So throughout history, the symbolism of man or the symbolism of human has always been a five-sided construct. And the symbolism of God and the symbolism of that higher power has always been an octagon. So we did not say, you know, okay, now we want to have these 8 core parameters. They just so happen to be 8, that so happens to be the octagon. So when we're talking about the spiritualness, it's about this inviting thing and about really tasting something that is purely being perfected by nature. I give you absolute right and say this is something inviting, and this body or your body starts knowing even after the first taste of this, I want to have more, because very quickly does it realize that you're doing something good to you, and this is something how water is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
oh, my
Yeah,
microphone
definitely.
was out. Yeah, I just said wow. Justin, Ruriko, let us participate with your experience.
Yeah. So let me ask Ruriko first. Ruriko さん、そのお水の味の感想を述べていただけますか？
はい。ローミネラルの水だっていうのが口に含んだ瞬間に分かります。で、ウェブサイトの方でもカルシウムとマグネシウムが2対1と紹介されてますが、2対1がとても飲みやすいというように私たち日本のウォーターソムリエたちも言っていますので、なんかその飲みやすさっていうのを非常に感じました。
So when she took the first sip, she immediately noticed that the low sodium level, and so it's very easy to drink. And also, as we had an early discussion earlier about the 2:1 ratio of the magnesium and calcium, and so this is actually like a golden ratio in Japan as well. So a lot of Japanese consider this balance water is usually tasteful or more appealing. So definitely, it's something what Japanese. Well, even if you're not a sommelier or anything, I think a lot of Japanese will dig this kind of water with a taste.
Arigato. Thank you.
Yeah, and I definitely agree to that. Not only is it just a soft water with a well balance, it has a really unique kind of smooth crispness. It's almost like having my first bite of the plum. It's like that. It's like almost having the most freshest bite of the plum, and it has this kind of nice sweet note to it. So it's I'm kind of go really spiritual as well. But I mean that's kind of a lot of things when it comes to water. I think this is kind of same with a wine sommelier too. But this is one of the things that I noticed, and this is what I experience when I drink my water, like in a dark room, to really sense the taste, kind of really sense my palate, and yeah, it's really delicious.
Thank you.
With that nice sweet note.
Our most common adjectives are silky, sweet, velvety, and smooth. And it's really going down. I mean, we can go into the science that I can bore you. I can bore you with, but ultimately, because of the parameters, and Ruriko was right, with the 2:1 ratio and the no sodium, as well as with the combination of a very high naturally saturated oxygen in the water, your tongue and also your tongue and your nose, I mean, they're all connected with your taste senses. But for the first time, it doesn't leave one, any aftertaste. And second, it really opens everything up. So that's why when you're pairing waters with food, or when you're pairing waters itself, so I want to say with food in the sommelier industry, that is really what the description is about. But it's important also to note that our water is really the only one that opens up the palate and that will never compromise then the actual taste buds when they're consuming something else. So it's really about opening things up, not leaving an aftertaste. And when you swallow it, it's like this sweet, velvety swallow that is an enjoyment. And also, I hope that everyone is drinking their water at room temperature and not somewhere cold, because if you have a cold water, you start numbing your taste buds as much as if you're putting ice on your muscle. So I hope that everyone is enjoying, the water at room temperature.
I'm glad that you pointed that out, and I would love to point out that to the audience as well. So actually, so you are absolutely correct. So we all definitely want to enjoy our first water in room temperature, so we can really enjoy or understand the tasting notes of the flavor and texture. Everything is all there when you drink in a room temperature. But this is kind of my personal note as well. But also try drinking a cold Hallstein as well, because then that's also going to bring a different impression too. So I'll recommend everybody to try Hallstein, both room temperature and cold as well. They're both amazing.
Philip, you spoke about that you can deliver your water in a kind of subscription plan to around 15,000 people, and this is and this fits to the sustainability of the source. So, tell us about the subscription. How does that work, and what is this kind of being in the market? Because most of the waters you can are accessible in the grocery stores. So, what is the special thing about that?
So the special thing is because we know what our maximum capacity is. Our well or our filling station is in UNESCO or right on the border of a UNESCO heritage site, right next to Hallstatt, which I would recommend everyone to visit. It's 7,000 years of history, where many of the Celts are from, but it's a very within Europe. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So we want to keep that protected. We want to make sure that the geological structure keeps everything the same. That we who cause enough, pollution, and I think that everyone should take, the step in the right direction, reducing their environmental impact. And that's what we've really fundamentally built this company on. So since we don't pump the water, we know what our maximum capacity is. And we've decided to control all aspects of it, that we have strategically placed warehouses around the world, that we offer our that we offer our product as a subscription, where some people like to travel, and this water, if you give us the address, we will send it to you wherever you are. It's the one thing that you should never compromise. So and it's also probably the convenience as well. I think during COVID, or when people go shopping for water, I think one of the big reasons what people don't like doing is dragging it around and up the stairs or out into the car. So it's just the convenience of delivering it to wherever you are. But maybe I can do a quick word about how the company is structured, because what we're looking for is this balance between our partnership agreements. So we have 2 and 3 Michelin-star restaurants around the world and hotels that will serve this water, and those are our partners. So our individual clients have a subscription service, and then we have these partners in this platform that if you're a Hallstein client, that you can always use. And we also have some special perks with other partners, either in the book industry. We were in the Formula One. Now we're sponsoring a team that does the Paris-Dakar rally. I mean, we have some fun projects that we do individually. So it's not just having a water on the platform, but it's also creating this lifestyle brand, which is the much bigger picture. And lastly, it's also the foundation that when you order a subscription, we also help fund our foundation that helps out millions or hundreds of millions of children who don't have access to clean drinking water, as well as providing them with an education, and lastly, providing them also with a source, with a fresh water source, because they typically have to walk 22 kilometers a week with their mothers. So it's really about doing something good for yourself while doing something good for others. So there's a much big picture rather than just being a water on the company. There's a very big sustainable aspect, and there's a very big charitable aspect that comes with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, that's really amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. That's all the, and also another thing that I wanted to ask you is, so I know you have several warehouses around the world to help distribute. So like I know I'm from LA, and so if I want your water, so if people from the US wants to get your water, where's your warehouses located, and how we can access to those water?
Well, it's all online. Everyone goes to HALLSTEINWater.com, and you open up as a subscription, and the online portal allows you to control the duration, so how many bottles are a week or on a month that you can order, as well as we have the options of getting the big 5-gallon drums, which is made out of a very unique material called Triton. So it's a BPA-free plastic, but as well as it's a polycarbon, and it's really making sure that the water never compromises, never gets compromised by sending this. So it's a material as good as glass, but it's not a plastic, or that people perceive to be plastic as. So same thing in Europe. You go online. In Los Angeles, we have the closest warehouse, I believe, in where is it? Right outside of Newport Beach, so in Carson. So that controls, and then we've one in Chicago, we've one outside of New York, we've one in Canada, and we've one down in Savannah, Georgia. So the North America is covered. In Europe, we have one in London. So not in London, outside of Liverpool. We have in Germany, we have two in Austria where we have the production, and slowly and surely, but we're looking for these warehouses that we create this local infrastructure to provide that service of that subscription model basis. But if someone, for instance, we have clients in Qatar, in Thailand, and there we have to ship on a bulk order. Same thing to Japan. We have a client, we just ship it on a pallet. So that's where we have to work a little bit on our size. But the larger we get, then we can create that local infrastructure to get a warehouse and then to set it up ourselves. But it's very easy. It's a set it up to get it almost, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I guess that's from your speaking from there, this definitely you have a good profile of a good accessibility to get this Hallstein world around the world. That's pretty cool.
Correct. It's very similar. Like if you look at all the other industries, people might think that we're controversial sending water around the world, but what do the other products do? There's a region in France, Ruriko, that produces the highest quality of wines in the world. I'm pretty sure Japan is very proud having the highest quality of sakes that are produced all around the world, and the Italians with their leather products. So it's what we're really doing is making sure that the company's fundamentally set up that we at least know the steps in making the least environmental impact, and the second and the most important, never compromising the quality. And I'm sure that if you look at any other luxury industry, they will also make sure that will keep at least the same thought process.
Yeah. I'm very proud to have Hallstein on the portal in the future, because I could listen to you and your family members all the time, because there are so many aspects you have in your story. I really like that. You were talking about the warehouses all around the globe, about the normality of, hey, goods have to be shipped because there are customers, they have their belongings, and so it's nothing special about sending goods to people. And sometimes I think we have different types of thinking when it comes to water. So it's really necessary to talk to the people that water is not just water, and we can talk about water in so many different ways. And this is still what you were doing. You were talking about it in a very special and different way. And this is what I really like about. The subscriptions plan is really cool, I think. And the golden ratio stuff is really cool. Missing link stuff. Warehouses all around the globe. I really like that. You said that you are working in a charity style with the company, and this all together is something which the smaller companies are doing, and the big brands, they are. I don't want to criticize them, but when they are doing good things, they are almost doing it for marketing and for have a better standing. But tell us a little bit about your charity programs and what you're doing with what you can do.
Yeah. So right now, the main recipient is a company called Operation Water. Again, you can look on it on our website, and they do two things. The one aspect is that they're primarily little girls who have to walk 22 kilometers a week with their mothers to get fresh water. So one, they're losing in education and they're not going to school. And then the second part, it's really about reducing the distances, and they'll come in with heavy equipment and drill a local well. So for every subscription that people get, we can help a family of 4 forever, with providing them with clean, accessible drinking water. So really, it's about doing something good for you while doing something good for others. And also to talk a little bit about the pricing, where we are relative, and I think this is just a really important thing to say, we're not in the space. Yes, we are a premium brand, but there are waters out there that I know that are over $100,000 per liter, and that is really the big marketing show behind it. And that's not we are. We believe that we found this price balance between someone who can order it, pay for that premium, and pay for the shipping, but at the same time, they will do something good for themselves. It's an investment into your health that I believe that everyone should do. And it's also, if you're a connoisseur, it's an investment also never to compromise that good steak, that good sushi, the good, I don't know, the good French or an Italian dish, or the good wine. So we believe we are working right now in the correct price point. But I also do want to reiterate that at some point, the capacity will be reached, and we will not be able to pump another, or we will never do that, but we will never be able to bring more capacity or more supply to the market.
Yeah, I think this is a real big thing, helping a family of 4. So this is something you have to understand. Great work, great work. Here I have the Taste Awards 21, and these are the points Mr. Milan Patel gave. And when he is lying sick on his couch, I just want to say he pointed Hallstein with a 99 out of 100.
Oh, wow.
So, Milan, you are not here, but your vote for Hallstein still is here. Hoping you're getting well soon. So, just a short look into the future. Is there are there some goals for the family Muhr with Hallstein Waters?
Yeah, I mean, I think our main goal is to run, a successful business. That what I mentioned beforehand. The larger we grow, the more people we can help out, and every new subscription is like joining our family. We did all the heavy lifting, we did all the science and the research, and we're still looking. But every time we get a subscription, it's really about joining the family, and we get a very big enjoyment out of that. So of course we want to reach our max capacity. And we also are looking for other geological sites around this world. And I can guarantee after 20 years, we have not found another site where all these parameters have come together.
Yeah, let me thank you and your family for finding this source and make it accessible for the mankind. Thank you for being here on the show. Justin, Ruriko, is there anything you want to add to the show?
Well, definitely. Well, thank you for your contribution finding this amazing source. And I definitely enjoy this water much as everybody that we are having this nice conversation tonight, or from all over the world. But yeah. So that's from me. Ruriko さん、最後に一言よろしいですか？
はい。フィリップさん、今日はとても素晴らしいお水をありがとうございました。とてもいい経験でした。日本料理にもペアリングがとてもいいお水だと私は思います。いろいろなお料理とペアリングをして、このハルシュタインを楽しみたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
So she really enjoyed the water, and she's in love with it. She also sees a lot of potential in pairing with a lot of the Japanese food using Hallstein. So, yeah.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Ruriko.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. So, before we quit the show, there are some things I want to say. We found a water sommelier in Germany who wants to cooperate with us, and this is something very special because the water sommeliers in Germany, hello out there. I know you are around 160. I don't know why you don't talk to us, but we want to talk to you. And if you don't want to talk to us, we will have Mr. Mike Schneckenberger, Bier und Wasser Sommelier, on the next show. And so we will start a new YouTube session with German, because we have so many German clients and they say, hey, the fine liquids community is very cool, but there is so many we don't understand because we don't speak English as well. And so we will have these German sessions in the future. Looking forward, we will do that in the mid of October for the first time. So the other thing is, I want to know what is better for you out there. We just decided for Twitch and Instagram, but hey, if you think Facebook would be better, so let us please know that, because we are open-minded for everything, and we want to be accessible for you and your kind of watching us in the internet. So let us know that. Just send us an email or give us a comment. And comment, please, if you really want to support what we are doing. You better should like, share, comment. I don't know. You know what is to do better than I know. Do that to support us, because I really want to do that for the next 20 years. And if you want to have shows like that, support us. It's really necessary for us. And I know water is not the biggest story, but as you saw today, it is really not uninteresting. So please help us, because we want to help you to get a way to the most unique, rarest, and finest waters you can get all around the globe. And we are building that infrastructure for you. So yeah, you are heartily invited to support us. So Millen, get well soon. Philip, thank you and your family for your water and for your time at 6 a.m. in the morning. Justin, Ruriko, my special sommeliers from all around the globe, thank you so much for having time. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wish all of you a very good week. Much health, stay hydrated, stay happy, and have a good time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Come to the soar string life. Find satisfaction. Yeah, that's right. Go with the flow. Enter the stage. Hello, it's showtime.
So.
Wir können das auch zum Beispiel auf Deutsch machen, zu deiner deutschen Community.
Ja, sehr gerne. Yeah, thank you all. And have a nice Sunday, I think.
Yes, and have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, enjoy it. Thank you. Pleasure to see everybody.
Bye-bye.